All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Global Village. And so sorry for the delay. Yeah, we had a bit of mixed up earlier. So, and our guest speaker is with us now. So, I don't want us to waste too much time as other people join. So, we start by introducing the guest speaker now. Please, can you just give a thumbs up if you can hear me, please? All right. So, okay, let me start by introducing our guest speaker, a person of Moses Ayankunle. Moses Ayankunle is a Nigerian educator, researcher, and cultural practitioner at the intersection of language education, technology and innovation, and cultural studies at the Goethe Institute in Lagos. He coordinates educational initiatives and supports teacher development and also promotes language education and international academic exchange. And his research interests focus on AI and emerging technologies in education, particularly their impact on skills development, employability, creativity, and lifelong learning. So that's just a brief about our guest speaker for today. And this session will be divided into two parts. The first part, our guest speaker will take us through the topic, and the second part will be for question and answer. So, Mr. Moses, over to you, please.
Good evening, everyone. Sorry for the silence. It was a technical glitch which we had to do a back and forth to fix, and I'm glad it's all working fine now. Thank you so much, Mr. Abdulgani Alamin, for inviting me to be on this platform at this particular moment. I do not take it for granted, and I'm so glad to have been joined by everyone who's on this call at this moment. As I said earlier, we are looking at the title artificial intelligence and the global workforce. How do we adapt, to it? Do we even need to adapt at all? And what innovation are we looking at, and how do we then thrive? When, let's say, we are now competing in the sense of it, or are we actually competing? Yeah, so I would start this by actually asking about artificial intelligence. When we talk about artificial intelligence, I usually look at it from the perspective of human machine interaction. That is, those tools, those some people will say applications, some people will say models, LLMs, and so on and so forth, that help us, do our jobs better, that help us, get things done faster, and so on and so forth. And then how does this then affect us? We know since the advent of AI, which has been like years back, but the popularization of it is just in recent times, popularization of artificial intelligence. It has actually affected the way we work. It has shifted the work culture. It has shifted the way we create things. It has shifted a whole lot of things. A lot of jobs are now what you will require maybe multiple people to do for you before. Now you can just have them done in the twinkle of an eye with the help of artificial intelligence. So what then does it mean for us, as young people, as youth, as people who are trying to, get their footing and standing in this in today's global age. It means we actually first have to adapt. Some people will say artificial intelligence is here probably to take your jobs or to um, chase you from the market, or how would you say that? Like to make sure nobody is demanding for your services or needing your services again. I am of the opinion that's actually very, very false. It is false. Artificial intelligence is not here to take people's job. Of course, that is where adaptation comes in. As professionals, as entrepreneurs, as business people, and so forth and so on and so on and so forth, we ourselves need to then learn how to use this artificial intelligence. What models do I need to know? What language do I need to speak? Like, when I mean language, I don't mean Spanish or German or English. I mean, how do I communicate with these AI models, to give me an output that is not just machine generated, but also has my own creativity, my own input in the in what comes out of it. So it's not just a generic, because one thing that has become very particular in this age and time is people using artificial intelligence to lead conversations. You give artificial intelligence the lead instead of the human taking the lead and the artificial intelligence being a support. So it takes me back to adapting. Now, how do I adapt to the age of artificial intelligence? How do I make artificial intelligence work better for me in my own niche? What am I doing as a person? And how can artificial intelligence make me work better or make my work flow better? So those are the questions we then need to ask ourselves. Um, Globally, we don't need to start meddling around saying you can't work from so place because you're in so place. No, that's we've actually evolved past that, and now the workforce is now global. One person residing in the remotest of places in the world can actually work with conglomerates, with global, you know high standing companies and partners all over the world. And this means that there is a lot of advantages to be tapped. Yeah. So this then goes to innovating. How is someone doing something, and how can I do it better? That's the basics of innovation. I have something, a product, I have an idea, I have something, and I want to make it better. Maybe I saw something and I think it can be better, and I make my own version of it. That's a kind of innovation. How then can we use artificial intelligence to, make things work better for us? So this is my own idea of innovation, of adapting into this age and time of artificial intelligence, in making sure that we are up to par in the global workforce. And I know if one can actually do some of these things that I've mentioned, we can then look at thriving. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Moses, for that exciting presentation. Though, and once again, I would like to apologize once again for the glitch we had earlier, and it has taken most of our time. So, Mr. Moses, I don't know if you are done with your presentation, or you just want to entertain a question before we proceed.
Yeah, we could ask some questions while we move on to other parts. Questions can also help us, discuss better or push this conversation forward.
Okay, no problem. So please, participant, if you have a question, you can unmute your mic and ask your question or drop it in the chat box as we proceed. Okay, I think let me start first,
Okay.
Mr. Moses. Okay, at
Okay.
this point in time, there are a lot of companies, do you understand, that have actually
Mm-hmm.
laid off a lot of workers, you understand, from different companies. Yeah. So my question now is, as Africans, as
Mm-hmm.
Africans now, what are the biggest opportunities AI present for African professionals and entrepreneurs?
As Africans. Okay. Um, I feel as Africans we have an edge because we have one of the greatest minds, first. The second thing is our creativity is actually the way we think is different from how, at least that I've seen, our creativity and thought process is way different. Is something that is very particular in the world. So we using artificial intelligence to better like create a workflow, or say we use it to develop a kind of we use it to up our output, is something that would create value for us and make us be a go-to in the global in this global workforce age. So I'll give an example. A company who actually wants workforce probably would, okay, say I throw open this job role or a role now, and I want people to apply. As Africans living in Africa, we have an edge of, first, economic standing. Our economy currently is growing, is developing, and at a like massive rate, alarming massive rate. So we could tap into potential that we have in this space to make sure that we are able to, compete globally. That's one thing. Artificial intelligence can help us as Africans reach that space where we can actually compete globally for economic gain, or even for other roles that we want to step into. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Moses. I don't know if we still have questions. Please, if you have a question, kindly unmute your mic and go ahead with the question. Okay, Mr. Sani, okay, you can go ahead.
Okay, good evening, Mr. Moses, and thanks for the presentation. So I have a question. The reality is that with the way, uh, of course, like you said, AI is here to stay, has come to stay, and
Mm-hmm.
you have to adapt. Adaptability is like the only way to survive and to be sure that okay, it's not coming to take over your career like people insinuate these days. But the reality is that there are like so many of these AI platforms and models and stuff that up each day with
Mm-hmm.
different modes of operation and efficiency. So how do you go about identifying with the numerous numbers of them that exist? How do you what would you say is like the easiest way, a tip now that you might want to give to identifying which one better suits what you need it for, or which one aligns mostly with your career path, or you know to help you
Okay.
develop more?
Thank you so much, Mr. Adewumi, for that question. Um, as you've said, as we know, there is a lot of machine learning models. There's a lot of language learning models that we have. There's a lot of AI platforms, to say it simply, AI platforms that we have that actually um, are based, or they do some other things. They do different things at particular times. I recently visited an exhibition. It's about human interaction and artificial intelligence. And this exhibition posits that artificial intelligence, as we have it currently, is not all round, and it doesn't think like an human, like a human. It can't like be as intelligent as humans. What do they mean about by this? They mean, if you have a model that has been developed to, say, create music now, you can't tell that same model to generate images. It will do a poor job. If you have another model that is meant to generate images, should you then tell that model to create music? It will either not create it at all or create garbage. So it's a very great question about how do you know which models or which platforms to work with according to your niche. That's a very big question, and I would say, if I were to choose which model should I use for my work, first is I would want to understand my own niche. What exactly am I doing? Then what do I want AI to do for me? That way, then I'm able to make some research. I normally use a lot of Google searching and all of those things, search engines basically. And you're able to find models that will help you work. I'll name some here now, not for commercial purposes, but just as an example here. Um, One of the all-rounders, or let's say almost all-rounders, or the basic AI model that a lot of people use is ChatGPT. And ChatGPT can handle basic text generation, can handle basic image generation, and can also sometimes handle some sound generation too. But there are other specialized models that actually can think, more, what's the word now? They think more in the terms of what you want to do. For example, if you're a project manager and you're using ChatGPT, it might sound more generic. It's better as a project manager if you go towards other ones like, say, Cloud AI or even Grok and so on and so forth. And then if you are a creative person, where is your creativity? Are you in the visual space? Are you in the music space, audio space, and all of those? Then you might find models like Nano Banana generating images. You might find other paid, um, systems that actually generate high-end quality images. Then, if you are into music, everyone knows, or I want to believe, everyone knows like the most advanced of music generation systems currently is Suno AI. There are others also that work on music processing, mastering, upload, and all of those things. But one have to go past the one cap fits all um, artificial intelligence model and then move towards specialized models that are developed specifically for certain tasks. Say text generation, say image generation, say sound generation, say project management, and so on and so forth. So we can keep mentioning. And yes, as you have said, it is better to use like specialized models that have been developed to actually carry out this task. And yeah, that goes for that. The second thing I would also mention is inside artificial intelligence models, one could actually then build something called agents. I wish I had like made a kind of slide for this presentation, but time constraints. I'm sorry about that. So I could facilitate something and send it to our convener, to share on their platform or something about this talk afterwards. So now, agent creation in AI is you now creating something that works for you over time. Say you have a particular task that you do like multiple times in a month or multiple times per day even. Now, instead of you prompting, when we say prompting, I know I would just say for the purpose of this call, I would say prompting is the way we put we give artificial intelligence models instructions on what they should do or what output we expect them to give us. Through prompting is how we give them this instruction. Say now I want to write a prompt. I want artificial intelligence to write me 3 lines of poetry, or I want it to give me a script on a whole movie. I could just write this, and then maybe in the next 2 weeks, I want the model to do almost a similar thing, but somehow different. I'll write the prompt again from the scratch. Say, give me 32 inches screen in just give a whole lot of description. But instead of going over this again and again and again, I could then create an agent in artificial intelligence. When I create an agent, this could then help me to skip prompting over and again. I just go in and say, okay, this is what I want now. I don't need to like go into detailing and all of those things. And the agent knows, okay, I need to fine tune this. I need to think like this. I need to, access these files and so on and so forth. So that is another aspect. But yeah, overall, one should endeavor to, search for artificial models that actually fit one's niche. And before I move on from this part, I would then come to the question of learning curve. Is it really compulsory that I learn how to use artificial intelligence before I use it? I believe so far you can actually text on WhatsApp, like you can write a message to your friends, or you can even scroll up and down on Facebook, or you can make a call on your phone, as simple as that. Because if you can't type text, you can just talk, use the microphone function, and artificial intelligence is able to help one, make things happen. It's able to uh, help one create fine-tuned better output for one's work, no matter what field you are in. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Moses. Mr. Adewumi, I hope he has been able to answer your question. Okay.
Yes, he has perfectly.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so Mr. Moses, there's a question for you in the chat box. Let me quickly read it out.
Okay.
Hello, Mr. Moses. With AI automating so many jobs, what are the top two to three practical skills Africans should be learning right now to stay relevant in the global workforce?
Hmm, big question. I think one of those skills is the skill of using AI. How to actually use that AI that is automating people's job. Because I would see it practical as if AI is automating people's job, AI is still artificial, and AI needs someone at the back of it, to give it the prompts to guide it to actually work. So why not then we become that person who guides this AI to work better? I was watching a movie sometimes back. I forgot the title of the movie, but it's about some black women who were scientists. They were working on calculations for NASA. I don't know if any of us have seen that movie. Their work basically is to be calculators. They come, they do all the workings to arrive at answers for the engineers at NASA. Then one day, NASA decided, let's acquire an IBM calculator. This calculator is a massive engine, like it's very big, and they were trying to operate it, they couldn't operate it. The women were afraid, okay, with this calculator, they would then lay all of us off. We wouldn't have jobs any longer. Nobody will bring us calculations. And at the end of the day, our departments becomes useless and they will lay us off. But one of them, who's like a leader, thought instead of them laying us off because they have a big calculator, which of course they can't make functional yet, why don't we then learn how to make this machine work? Then it becomes we not being the one just making the calculation now. We are the ones that makes their calculator operational. So as a professional, I would always want to think, how do I make AI work for me? You know, Instead of me letting AI lead, I would say, how do I make AI work for me? And in this global age where a lot of people are probably are losing their jobs because of the advent of artificial intelligence, how do I stand out even with AI? How do I bring in the human touch? And that's it. First thing, learn artificial intelligence. Like when I say learn artificial intelligence, learn to use artificial intelligence past write me an email, past generate something for me, just basics. You can learn artificial intelligence engineering, you can learn AI engineering, AI prompting. That you can learn. What else can you learn? In that same headspace, one could learn, uh, should I say communication? Yeah, you could also learn like human management. In a world where artificial intelligence is becoming the norm, we need human intelligence. So human relation in sense of administration, in the sense of being tech savvy, basically. You are tech savvy and you are human savvy. I think you are good to go. Yeah. I hope I have answered that question a little bit.
Hello, yes, sir,
Okay,
you did. Thank you very, very much.
Yes, sir.
okay, yeah. Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Moses. Uh, okay, go ahead, please. Someone asking a question. Okay. Okay, please, if you have a question, you can just unmute your mic and go ahead, please. We have less than 2 minutes. All right. I'm trying to see issue with this mic.
Okay, I thought you actually muted me, so that someone can speak. Yeah. Can you hear me now? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you now. It's okay now.
Okay, great.
Yeah, since
Um,
then, okay.
okay. There's one last thing I would love to mention while we are here, talking about artificial intelligence and workforce. I want us to also do a kind of mind shift, from work as in jobs, but shift it toward work as skill sets. Yeah, you understand? Most oftentimes than not, artificial intelligence can only automate a part of your job. It can't automate like the whole of your job, I'm telling you, but it can automate a part of your job. Why then don't we, try to um think of jobs as skills, moving it from jobs to skills. Say you are a teacher now. Artificial intelligence can help you create materials for you to use in your classes, but artificial intelligence cannot implement those materials in your classes. Why don't you then get better at implementation? If you can already automate the mundane part, say, of maybe creating worksheets every day. If you're able to automate that part, why can't you then get better at the other parts that you can automate? Say, I'm coming. Another thing is location. With AI, location, or let me say where you stay, actually is not a very big factor in where you can work. I was making a research recently. I was telling my artificial intelligence model, I have so number of skills. I have these skills, and I would love to do this. Could you make a deep search into what I can do with these skills? And you'll be amazed at the ton of things it generated. Okay, I've searched the engine. Now, what I did then, I didn't just say I want to work, or I have this job and I want to do so with it. What I said is I have this skill, this skill, this skill, and this skill, like concrete skills. Say I have project management skills, I have music making skills, I have what's it called now? Communication skills. I know tech, like I can do web development, UI, UX, back end, front end, whatever the skill is. Then I give it to the AI and say, deep search for opportunities I can actually, apply to. the search for opportunities I can take advantage of. And you'll be amazed at like tons of things that you can do even while you're here. And if you feel you also want to like move out of Africa, out of Nigeria, out of Kenya, out of everywhere we are at, we can also make this happen. And it is all about the mindset shift from looking at workforce as in jobs, but workforce as in skills. What skill do I bring to the table? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Moses. I think there is another question in the chat box.
Okay.
Okay.
You please read it out.
Okay. They said, giving AI prompts to generate whatever is it, what one needs has always been a working idea, but
Mhm.
that AI is a cheat.
Come again. I think
Okay. Okay.
like
This person
like you
said,
rightly said. Okay.
giving AI prompts to generate whatever is it one needs has always been a working idea, but okay.
Okay. Then when I sit there just saying
He said she has cases whereby you give AI prompts, and then when asked, it ends up saying that's my work.
like AI says that is AI's work, yeah.
I don't know.
Um if the person asking the question could actually unmute their mic and ask this question to give us like better clarity to answer it better.
Lasu Bomi, could you please unmute your mic?
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Moses.
Good evening, ma'am.
Now, I was trying to say that I have seen scenarios whereby, like, you do AI prompt and then it gives you whatever you need, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
there are scenarios whereby, probably, let's say in a research now,
Yeah.
in a research, you'll be asked for a Turnitin, that is to check whether there is AI generated, whatever in your work. Yeah. Now, when giving AI a prompt, and then when asked if is this your work or how many AI generated sentences do we have in this research, AI will tell you that yes, this is my work. Like I've seen such cases. So what I'm trying to ask now is that is there a way we can actually outsmart AI in that aspect?
Thank you so much for that question.
Okay, Mr. Moses, let me quickly add to it.
Okay.
Okay, personally, for me, from let me say personal experience, I once had a gig from a client, proofreading, translation gigs. So it took me like 2 weeks to me and my partner, you understand, to complete the job. Then after we've submitted the gig, then the client rejected the work and said, okay, it contains some AI, stuff like that. And I was kind of shocked. Like, so for me, to some extent, for some of the clients, it's actually a tactics for them to rubbish your work and just they've actually gotten what they need, and they no longer need you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Biganio Alamin, and also to Alashubomi. Um, I'll start with your question about research and artificial intelligence. One thing we usually preach is the ethical use of artificial intelligence, and that usually means, okay, how much of it have I used in my research? As we all know, research is about knowledge generation, generating new knowledge from old or existing knowledge, or trying to argue something and all of those things. But how do I come about this even while using artificial intelligence, which of course makes my work faster and better, and makes workflow better in the first place. That's the work of the artificial intelligence. How do I make this work less AI? The first thing I usually would advise is, when you have work generated from AI, first, don't let AI generate a whole chapter or a whole face of your work. Say your work is in different phases. Don't let AI generate the whole thing top to bottom. Second thing is proofreading yourself. I have done research that I've used AI, to bring things together and all of those things. What I would do as a person is to sit down and start reading, and then humanize it. That's the thing. You humanize it, you localize it. So humanizing simply means me switching up some words. Say I have chosen my what they usually call now vocabulary sets. Mr. Alamin would understand what I say when I say I've chosen my vocabulary sets. In translation, for example, if you want to translate the whole text, you need to make sure this text from top to bottom, the keywords are not scattering. It's not like you're translating the same word into like 5 different words across 5 different parts of this text. It means you have to maintain consistency and clarity throughout the text. Same goes for research. Say I have done a part of this work with artificial intelligence. I wouldn't just copy and paste. Yeah, localization. Thank you so much. I wouldn't just copy and paste into my research like that. I would instead proofread by myself and localize the content. Remove all the, one thing about artificial intelligence is it has buzzwords in the sense of, when you read something, if you have worked with artificial intelligence to an extent, when you read something, oh, this is artificial AI generated or something, you can already read it, but it has buzzwords. So if I'm working in research, for example, I wouldn't just copy and paste. If I were doing social media, of course, I can copy and paste AI into social media. I can copy and paste into like light stuffs that are just for everyday use and consumption. But if I were doing something like schoolwork, or I'm doing academic work and all of those things, first things is I want to localize, I want to humanize what artificial intelligence has given me. Then this way, I'm able to avoid this Turnitin thing. Because even with Turnitin, there's an AI behind it that searches the whole database of what you have done. Your work might be so good to an extent that AI thinks it's AI generated. That's another thing. I think it's a plus for you. But of course, it wouldn't reflect like that on your assessment, So yeah. So that's something we should look at, localizing, and then looking at reference points, making sure whatever has been generated for us, we're able to even prove if a supervisor or whoever is working, you are working with on a research, even says, oh, this is artificial intelligence generated, AI generated. You can then stand your ground to say, no, this isn't artificial AI generated. These are the processes I've gone through to make sure to arrive at this position, or at these suggestions that I am making. So yeah, one thing is localization, and making sure all of the buzzwords that triggers the AI reference are removed from your research. You can use word references like dictionaries and all of those thesaurus and so on and so forth. I hope I've answered that question. And for the other one about gigs and clients, I it is something that we have experienced time and again. Clients coming in and saying this thing is AI generated. You would ask them, what AI? Okay, what or how are you feeling, or what gives you the assurance that what I've given you is AI generated? And then you are also able to argue your point out. But of course, in a gig economy, the client has like the upper hand, whether they are right or they are wrong. We just pray we don't meet the wrong clients. So yeah, thank you. Your work, as I've said, your work can be so good that people think it's AI generated. Yeah. Good.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Moses. I really appreciate your time and effort. So, because we've spent so much time even before you even start the program,
Fact.
so I don't want us to take too much time again.
Mhm.
So, before the end of the program, just a brief. Mr. Moses,
Mhm.
you are into academics,
Yes.
and I know you have some students around you.
Mhm.
Yeah, maybe during assessment, you understand, exams, projects. Do you think the students on their own, do you think most of the answers you've been getting from them, do you think they are human, or most of those answers are actually AI generated answers? Because I've seen a case whereby, like, the simplest tests, let me say message, people can no longer compose them again. The best people could do just like, okay, just give me something AI, and I think generally it is actually affecting the academics, whereby people even writing projects, you can just prompt, uh, just give AI the topic, then the AI will generate the whole project for you, chapter by chapter, conclusion, everything. And from what I've actually, should I say, okay, seen so far, okay, most of the lecturers, they no longer have time, they understand, to check all of the project and all of these things. So it's just like copy and paste. And people are actually graduating with that kind of mindset into the labor market. And at the end of the time, you see people are being rejected. Okay, no, because you don't have your own idea. So what do you think, you as an educationist, what do you think we can do, or let's say the government, not, I'm not, this one, okay, probably this, what I'm saying here can also be presented to people we know around us, they understand, to minimize the use of AI in academic field?
Okay. Thank you so much again, Mr. Abdul. Um, yes, you are very correct. We've risen to the age and time where almost everything has become artificial intelligence. And you should remember, when I started this conversation earlier on, I said something about artificial intelligence. It is artificial. And humans, the more, even the artificial intelligence, the more you use it, the more intelligent your model becomes. Yeah? The more you use your model, the more it feels, okay, this is how this person thinks. And that is how your mind works. The more you use your mind, the more it sharpens, like it becomes better. You read, you give output, and all of those. We wouldn't again argue the fact that most people now in education, they use AI for everything. They can't even think by themselves. Last week, I had the opportunity of bringing together students, secondary school students from all over Nigeria. We came to Lagos to look at the issue of sustainability and sustainable cities, all the while learning German. Because now, during some of our conversations, you just see some of them. They type whatever you're saying. They want to fact check you. They want to see if what this man is saying is actually correct. They are inside their AI, you know. Now, would we as educationists encourage this? I would say nine. That is it's a kind of what do you call it? Begriff. It's a kind of expression in German that is not yes and is not no. It is somewhere in between. We should encourage our students, or we should encourage ourselves as education people, as researchers, as teachers, and so on and so forth, or even as students, to ethically use AI. AI being used ethically, in the sense of you don't just give AI prompt to write a whole project for you. What then is your input? Because we are here creating knowledge. AI depends solely on already like imputed, already existing knowledge, even not until the recent time, but to a particular range of time. So if we then want to create something new, and we don't want to sound generic, as I said, AI can be very, very generic. Then we need to think by ourselves. We need to lead AI and not AI leading us. The issue of we, even to the point of writing text messages, some people can't even write chats again or text messages again, like proper emails, just because they feel, I want to say this, AI, give me this. There was a week at my workplace where we were receiving the same email from over 15 people, the same email, the same wording. And you know this is AI generated, because this same, like 15 different people, sometimes I'm even sure these people, they don't know each other. They say, they give you the same line, the same thing, and then you know, oh, this is AI. Can these people write better? Yes, they can if they want to. But did they give themselves like the task or the patience to go through the process? I don't know. But yes, we using our own intelligence, to generate things. Yes, we can use artificial intelligence to hasten or to better our workflow, to make things faster and all. But first, we need to lead the artificial intelligence, not the other way around. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Moses. I think we have come to the end of today's session. First and foremost, I would like to thank each and every one of us for joining today's session. The topic remains artificial intelligence and the global workforce. So a special thank you to our guest speaker, Mr. Moses Ayankunle. Thank you very much for that, for sharing your valuable insights and expertise with us. Thank you very much once again. And to all our participants, thank you very much for your time and taking your time to ask those questions. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you. So at this point, let me just call on someone to just say thank you to our guest speaker once again, then we end the session. Mr. Adewumi, just in 30 seconds.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moses. It's been an insightful session with you. Thank you for the tips, and we pray that the good Lord continue to bless you with more wisdom. And it takes a lot to give back to the society, which is what you're doing right now, and we truly appreciate you for that. And in the same vein, I want to thank Mr. Alamin. Thank you for putting this together. We're really thankful, and we hope to be a part of much more of sessions like this with you. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Adewumi. Thank you very much.